Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday. We are live at 5, my favorite day of the week. I get to see all of you. I'm going to wait a few minutes before, I know people are still kind of working, getting out of the field, so I always kind of wait a couple minutes. I'm going to pull this up on my other screen so I can see who's jumping on. Sometimes there's a lag. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cheryl Hager. I am a cleaning business coach and also an active maid service owner. I'm a northern girl. I'm from the Boston, Massachusetts area. And my company's name is Maid Bright. I founded it myself. I found all my clients myself. I haven't bought any clients list or bought someone else's clients list or anything like that. And I grew my company 100% organically and still grow it organically without any Google ads, without any Facebook ads or anything like that. I grew my brand in my community with a grassroots approach. I focus on developing relationships with my clients, relationships with my staff, and an extreme focus on my company's brand, which is so important and so often missed by people. If you see me refreshing this, it's just because I can see questions when people are on and stuff like that. So a good brand grows its client list. A good brand grows your staff. Tonight we're talking about staff, which is one of the hardest things to grow. It's everything to your business. You cannot scale if you have a staff. So I started my coaching. I've always wanted to help people. I've always wanted to coach, and I felt that I had some valuable information to share. I saw a need for it in the industry. I saw that cleaning business owners really struggle with certain areas of their business, a lot with hiring, some with pricing, some with self-worth, with belief in themselves and their abilities to execute. And these struggles can come from past experiences, childhood development, a lot of different things. And so I knew I had a calling, and that's why I'm here today and are going to continue to help as many people as I can. So I felt that I had a calling to help those in need that needed a little nudge or a little support, who needed direction. So I founded this group, Sisters Who Scale. I'm going to keep refreshing this to see if you want. And then tell me if you're saying hi. Hi, Stacy. If you're jumping on, I see a couple people on here. Just say hi. Let me know where you're from. Just engage a little bit so we can get this going. The more that you engage and say where you're from and hi, the more it shows it. The more the Facebook algorithms show people that I am live and more people jump on. I bet you didn't know that. That's why I asked you to do that every time. So I founded this group, Sisters Who Scale, where I help cleaning business owners grow their teams, grow their revenue, and smash through their fears, which is a lot of times what's actually going on. Owners are scared to make the wrong move, but I can tell you that any move is going to help you, even if it's the wrong move, because it allows you to learn from it. And so many people look at failure as the worst thing, but this is the best thing that actually happened. So a couple of announcements real quick. I am opening up the open registration on Monday for Drop Them Up and Scale Accelerator, which is coming. I think that's June 23rd. I only take 7 students, so seats are limited. I already have 1 spot reserved, so actually 6. It's an intimate setting. That's why I only have 7 spots, and once they're filled, I close open registration. And the next Drop Them Up isn't going to be open until October. So my favorite topic of the world is hiring and retaining great employees, because that is how you make money. You can only make so much money for cleaning by yourself as a solo cleaner, right? So I'm going to tell you straight up that your employees are your business. I'm talking 95% of your success depends on the people you put in those uniforms. That's a crazy high number, maybe, but it's the brutal truth, right? So the one thing that's different about me is I tell it like it is, no matter or not if you want to hear it or not, the good, the bad, the ugly. Why? Because you need to know. You need to know so you can make changes and things like that. Let's see who else is on here. Hey, Belinda. Belinda's from Bonnie Lake, Washington. Let's see who else is on.
Good evening,
oh,
everyone.
that's, I can't look at that. Belinda, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Tracy.
Hey, Belinda's from Bonnie Lake.
You can hear that. You can't listen to that. You can hear that. You can hear the you're gonna hear the reverb or whatever. So here's the reality check. Without solid employees, you are stuck. Period. You can, if you want to go make $7,000-8,000 a month or whatever and clean until your body gives out on you, more power to you. Go ahead, have a blast. But if you really want to scale, like I wanted to scale, you need employees, right? If you want to scale past solo cleaning, you need people. If you dream of taking a real vacation, you need people. If you're tired of being the emergency backup every single time, you need people. You need more people, right? So if you're ready to stop doing everything yourself, guess what? You need people. We all need people. Sure, you can stay solo forever. You can clean your 8 to 10 houses a week, make your 70, 80,000 a year and call it good. That's cool, whatever. But let me ask you this. How is your back feeling? How are your knees feeling? Because I'll tell you what happened to me. One random Tuesday, I bent over to grab the vacuum and I felt a pull in my back. And my back said, nope, we're done here. Totally embarrassing. I couldn't finish the house. And then it got worse from there. And then the next morning, I couldn't get out of bed. And basically, in a nutshell, if I didn't figure out how to hire people, and I had people at that point, but I didn't really have any good people. You know what I mean? I just had some helpers and people that would show up and I'd pay them another table. Like nobody like really good. And I was at a crossroads and I had to make a decision. And it was eye-opening as heck, right? So I was, in my 40s then. And guess what? It's going to happen to all of you if you don't learn how to hire. That's the crushing truth. If you don't learn how to hire, you'll eventually either sell your client list or sell your business if you set your business up properly. That's another topic for another time. So why not get good at hiring people? Hiring people, firing people, creating a company culture, stuff like that. I'm actually training. It's a virtual on the Zen Made Summit, September 10th and 11th. It's virtual. I am training on hiring and retaining great staff. It's going to be a much more in-depth training than tonight, but look out for that. It's free. It's free this year. They're not charging any money, so it's free. So my cleaning career as I knew it at that point basically ended. All those years of being a hero, jumping in when staff called out, being everyone's backup plan, all that kind of stuff, that came crashing down. That was over. So why am I doing this training tonight? Why am I teaching? Why am I teaching the Zen Made thing? I had a choice between things, and I said, you know what? I need to teach people how to hire people because I don't want you to be like me. I don't want to wait for your body to force the decision for you, because whether or not you think of it, it's coming. Whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, it's coming at some point, right? It's all coming. Who here's knees hurt and back hurts and, like shoulders hurt, like rotator cuff? Anyone? I bet. I'll check these at the end. Hi, Marta. How are you? So let's talk strategy. Strategy number one, if you have a piece of paper and a pen, you want to write this down. Number one is how we hunt for rock stars, not just warm bodies. There's a difference. Here's where most owners screw up. They hire anyone with a pulse because they're desperate to fill the schedule. I get it, but stop it. Stop it right now. Reschedule a client. Lose a client. I hate to say it, but clients are clients. Clients are going to come and go, right? Exactly. So your company is only as strong as your weakest team member. And in cleaning, one bad apple ruins the whole bunch. I've lost many houses for quality over the years, and you got to keep going. You got to keep going, right? Exactly. So your goal as a CEO of a cleaning company, or any company for that matter, is to be a great talent scout, not a desperate employer. And there's such a difference. So what does a Rockstar employee look like? They ask questions during trainings. They ask questions when they're in the field. Can you check my work? Like, that is music to my ears when they say stuff like that, or when I hear that they say stuff like that out in the field. They look for ways to help when their task is done. That's a massive one. You don't want someone sitting on their ass, right? You want someone that's willing to jump in, help, pack the caddy, take it to the car, whatever it takes. They want feedback. They want feedback on their work. One of the best employees you could hire is someone that wants feedback to know that they're actually doing a good job. Okay, Those are the rock stars. Let's talk about the red flags. Let's talk about the red flags. And if you've had one of these red flags, let me know, because I love to see who's had a red flag. So put red flag in the chat. Body sore. Stacy, my dear, you got to hire a bunch of people. Yeah, you know you do. All right, what does a red flag look like? The person who finishes their section and goes to sit in the car while everyone is still working. That is not a team player. Everyone stays in the house until the home is complete. And if someone can help out, if someone's having a hard time, or maybe the bathroom was tough for show, whatever, they jump in and they help. Okay, that person that goes out and sits in the car, the minute I hear that, I look for ways to get rid of them. Swear to God, I do. They're not going to make it. Cut them loose before they infect your whole team. You ever see that picture of a healthy strawberry and a bruised strawberry, and then on the healthy strawberry, the side of the strawberry, it's like starting to turn color too? That's what's going to happen. I learned that the hard way, okay? I hired this girl, Sarah, very nice, sweet as pie in the interview, but once she got comfortable, she became the queen of corner cutting, right? Clients started complaining, other staff got frustrated, and I kept making excuses for her because, you know, as a single mother, she needed a paycheck. I felt responsible, but you know what happened? I lost 3 good clients. That doesn't work for me, right? When you're losing 3 good clients, 2 employees quit because they didn't like working with her. And I finally grew a backbone and I let her go, right? Being a CEO, you have to have a backbone, and it takes time to grow one. We're nice. We want to serve people. We want to help people. But then it's almost like you have to wear 2 hats. You have to wear a nicey customer service, yay, I love you face for the clients. But then you have to, you're leading a ship. You're leading people. So you have to have another hat on. And it's okay to think about like 2 hats being put on, because you definitely need 2 hats. So the clients, they started complaining. And I had to let her go, right? Sometimes being a good boss means making hard decisions for the greater good of your company and making hard decisions to benefit the rest of your good staff. You have to think of it like that. So the minute you see, like I have a couple right now in my team that could go. They could go, right? There's a couple of reasons why they could go. I always have a couple on my radar, right? So an example, the clock milker. They take constant smoke breaks on your dime. They hang around the office for 30 minutes before they go out for their routine on the clock. Watch for these people. Yes, they're around you. And the crazy thing is they don't think that you notice. You do. So another one, the person who's extremely slow and takes their sweet ass time cleaning your clients' homes. If you're on hourly like my company is, you watch this. That's why you track this. That's why you need to have a CRM to track how long they're in a house. If it takes you and 2 hours to clean a house and it takes them 3.5 hours to clean a house, you got a problem. You got to speed them up, right? So look for these people. They're out there. Clock milking is stealing, period. If they're sitting on the clock and they're taking a smoke break and they're stopping in between houses, and you see that they're taking 45 minutes in between houses when it only takes 15 minutes between houses, they're fucking off, right? You're not going to pay for that. You don't want to pay for that, okay? So that is number 1, which is hunt for rock stars. Those people, the top list was rock stars. The red flags are not rock stars. There's actually more red flags, but you want to consciously look for these red flags. Okay. Number 2 is you hire for hustle and you train for skills. You're looking for a hustler, right? A hustler who wants to make money. Hey, Tracy, how are you? My body is dead. I do yoga a few times, stretch it out. It's really true. People don't realize how taxing cleaning houses is. So, okay, this can go either way. I've seen this go either way. Sometimes you see people that say, oh, I've been cleaning for 20 years. I've seen that not work out, but I've seen it work out. We hired someone recently. She's been cleaning for 20 years. She's a rock star, right? She's a rock star. But sometimes, sometimes they think that they can't do anything wrong, right? So you're looking for like the happy medium. So I want the person who shows up a little bit early because they were serious about the job and stays late or does extra work or something like that when needed. I'm looking for someone to go outside of the circle, right? So inside the circle, people just do like the average things like show up, do the houses, go home. I'm looking for the people that are asking if they can do laundry, filling the chemicals for the girls, getting the caddy ready for the beginning of the day when their team leader isn't there. That's the person I'm looking for. So and no one in my company knows that I look at everyone like this, but I won't say anything, but I'm constantly analyzing what is going on in my company and if we can do a better job, if we're doing a shitty job and we need to change a procedure or let someone go or something like that. I'm always looking because when you're out of the field, you need to protect your profits, and that's what this is about. So the better staff you have, the increase in profits you're going to have. And why shouldn't your profits be increased? You're in this business to make money, not to make friends, right? You may make a couple friends along the way, but you're in this to make a few bucks, right? Why would anyone do this if you weren't in it to make money? So skills can be taught to a degree. Work ethic, that's built into someone's DNA. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for work ethic that's built into someone's DNA, okay? So I prefer a mix of both. I'm going to tell you honestly, I prefer people that have residential cleaning experience over people that don't have any. I think it's hard. I think teaching that detail is hard. I've always had way better luck when people have extensive residential cleaning experience. I'm able to get them off training pay in 3 days, 4 days. Other people that don't have much cleaning experience, 3 weeks. Yeah, you don't want them to be on training pay for 3 weeks. That's disheartening, right? So let's talk about some interview questions that actually matter if you want to take these notes down. I'm going to keep refreshing this so I can see all the comments and stuff. Okay, it's Tracy. So 72 views already. That's cool. All right, interview questions that actually matter. Here they are. Here are some of my personal questions. Tell me about a time you went above and beyond at a previous job. You want to know, right? If they can't think of anything, you got a problem. What's another one? What would a perfect workday look like to you? Okay, right? They say whatever they're going to say. This is a big one, especially in our industry. How do you handle it when a coworker isn't pulling their weight? How do you handle it when a coworker isn't pulling their weight, right? That's going to happen when you're working in teams, right? Another one is, what's your biggest pet peeve about messy people? So this one's fun and it tells you a lot about people. Some people will say, I love helping people. I love serving. They need help. I like to tidy up, that type of thing. I look at their job history. I look at their resume. Why? Because I like to weed people out if I can. If I see someone on their resume, and it happens more often than you think, someone that job hops and they've only worked, they work at a job for like 3 months or something like that, I don't even interview them. My goal when I'm looking at resumes is to get rid of people, right? Get rid of people, keep the good ones. I make piles, right? I do my yeses, which are the green checkbox. I do my maybes, which are the question marks. And I do my X's. Get out of here. Because your time is precious. You don't want to spend all this time. You don't want to interview everyone. I probably interview 10% of all the resumes that come in. 20% maybe. Yeah, some people just are not worth, they're not worth your time, right? They're not worth your time. Is that making sense? Let me know if this is making sense. Let me know if this is making sense. Jace Bond has a question. Hi, Jace. Jace is my hubby, everybody. Interview question. How many times is acceptable to same day call out? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I don't know if I know what you mean. Interview question. How many times? Oh, an interview question. Yes. How many times is acceptable to same day call out? This could be going on our interview questions, actually. Anyone want to answer? Anyone have a comment about that? If you do, put it in the chat. So you have to remember that you're not running a charity, you're running a business, okay? You need employees who make you money, not ones who cost you money through complaints, redos, like I had one today in my own company, and lost clients, right? Remember, you're not running a charity. You have a servant heart hat, and then you have I am the CEO. My primary goal is that the company makes money, right? You need to have both. You need to have both, not ones that cost you money. If you see a constant bleed of profit from someone that's working for you, get rid of them immediately. You're not in this to make friends, you're in this to make money. I'm not saying that means you need to be a bitch when you're running your company. That is not what I'm saying at all. But at the end of the day, your company is only as good as the profits it's making you. I know that sounds harsh, I know that sounds very masculine, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth, and you all want the truth. So okay, strategy number 3: turn your employees into managers. Don't just look at them as paychecks. If they have some type of managerial skill that you're seeing them take initiative, go forward, go get their keys for the day, packing their caddies the day before. If you see something like that, or helping out with the laundry. I say laundry because my company has so much laundry. We do laundry every single day. 6 days a week. We're doing laundry 6 days a week in my company, between all the microfibers and the Airbnb sheets and everything else. It's wild. There's so much laundry. If you see them helping, those people may have ability to be leaders. When I say managers, I mean team leaders. That's the first level. That's your assistant management level, is creating team leaders. Every team should have a leader. What does that mean? Every team has a leader that's in charge. So when the shit hits the fan, that leader's responsible. They're not looking at each other like, did you do that room? No, did you do that room? The team leader has to do a walkthrough. They need to check to make sure everything's good. If the team leader doesn't do a walkthrough and there's a complaint, it falls on the shoulder of the team leader. So you're looking for employees. You're always looking for employees to manage. Why? Because the managers are going to give you your freedom, right? You're going to give you your freedom. So your best employees want to grow. They want to contribute, right? And feel that they're building something with you. So if you see that, let them, pull them in, ask for their opinions, right? Give your top performers special projects, ask for their input on new services, on chemicals, on vacuum heads, anything like that. Let them train the newer staff. Obviously, you have to train the trainers, right? You have to train them first. But let them do it, right? Let them do it. We have a designated person in my company that does laundry. She washes, folds, gets everything done, the sheets done for the Airbnbs. We have Airbnbs in the summer. This year we have them all year, but usually we just have them in the summer. She comes in early, like 30 minutes early, gets everything done. This is giving her purpose. To you and I, that doesn't seem like anything because we're used to wearing all the hats, and we'll do all the laundry and buy the coffee and the toilet paper and all that stuff. But to her, it's a big deal because she has purpose in the office beyond just going out and being on the team. She's a laundry person. Is like minuscule as it sounds to you and I, that's important to her. It's very important to me because I am too busy to do the laundry every day, right? Chase is too busy to do the laundry every day. He's a rock star, right? He's a rock star. So stuff like that. Right? Stuff like that. So you want to give them purpose there, give them reasons to grow in your company. That is another way how to keep loyal employees, because they feel a part of something. They can go to Dunkin' Donuts, they can go to McDonald's, they can punch a clock, they can get a paycheck, right? But people want to come to work, they want to enjoy what they do, right? They want to enjoy what they do. So let me give you an example. We had an incident with a dog bite in my company not too long ago. Stephanie got bit by a dog and on her leg, a nip on her leg. It was a real bite and needed medical attention. This was the first time it's ever happened. My thought wasn't about the schedule. I'm just looking at this. My thought wasn't about the schedule or the coverage, right? Hey, Christina from Colorado Springs. My thought process was not about the schedule, was not about the coverage. I didn't give a crap. I dropped everything. I was in a different town. I met her at the office. We got her to urgent care. We handled all the insurance stuff immediately. I called the homeowner to get the dog's vet records because the hospital asked for them, right? That's scary. It was a pit bull. And you know what Stephanie told me later? She said, I never had a boss who actually gave a crap about me as a person. So she took a couple days off. It healed. She came back motivated than ever. She realized it was an accident. It was no one's fault. And I told the entire company, because the company had all kinds of emotions rising, and they're saying, it was the dog's fault, and this dog should be put down, and this and that. And at the end of the day, we did a little investigation on the story, and Stephanie had forgot to send her on my way text to alert the homeowners to put the dog away. And the homeowner, and she was early, and the homeowners weren't home, and she opened the door was unlocked. So whose fault was it? Wasn't the homeowner's fault, right? If Stephanie had sent her on my way text, the client may have got it, and they would have intercepted because they were right down the road. So we had to talk about, if that ever went to court, insurance company is like not paying a workers' comp, right? Because the procedure wasn't followed. That's how that shit goes. But anyway, so that it didn't even go that far, because I jumped in and I called the team lead a meeting, not to lecture about dog safety, but to ask them how we could prevent this from happening again, right? I listened to their ideas, implemented their suggestions, and made them part of the solution. That's how you build loyalty that lasts, right? You don't do it by pointing the finger, pointing the blame, anything like that, right? All right. Strategy number 4, create a mission in your company worth fighting for. And one of the things we do in the Drop Them Off and Skill program is we create your mission with you. I teach you how to create your own mission. And that's the one thing that's different. Someone can write everything for you, right? But it's not yours. You have different in your brand, and you have different beliefs and purpose in your company, why you started your company. So you want to create your own mission. I just teach you how to do it in the program. You don't just clean vacuums or toilets. You restore sanity back to overwhelmed families. You give busy parents their weekend time back, their gift of time, right? You save marriages, right? Seriously. I can't tell you how many clients have said, oh, you saved my marriage. It's a joke, but is it? Or we decrease the household arguments, right? Making sense? So when your team understands they're in business of changing lives and not just cleaning houses, there's a shift that happens. And you all, kind of need to get this. They take pride in their work. They all of a sudden start to care about quality. They stick around longer, right? They care about helping people. That's a mission, not a job, right? That's very, very different. So you want to make this real. You want to share the client testimonials in team meetings. You want to share the Google reviews with the team. If they mention the team's name in the Google review, that's massive. That's massive to them. They feel so good about that when they walk away from that. Celebrate them with thank you cards. Tell them about the client who cried relief when they walked into the house and the house was all clean after they couldn't keep up with it. That is what we call a mission-driven employee. That they don't just show up for a paycheck. They show up to make a difference. And these are the people that number one, you need to find to see if they could be possibly mission-driven. You don't really know when you hire them. But 2, you need to turn them into mission-driven employees, right? And your clients will love them just as much as they love you. They show up to make a difference. They do, right? Pia is my assistant with certain videos, and she can tag. So I have all these videos. They're all recorded. And Pia's name is actually Sarah. Sarah, do you want to share, as long as you're live, and if you can, do you want to also share the YouTube link as well? Because all the videos, and I started putting shorts on there, they're all on my YouTube page, so you can binge watch. Some people tell me that they binge watch when they're cleaning, and it's helpful for them, so that's cool. So, all right, moving on. Strategy number 5. Communication is your superpower, ladies. Your team isn't psychic. They can't read your mind, contrary to popular belief. But you can't read their mind either. So that's why you guys got to communicate, right? Be super direct. Be super clear. Be consistent with the communication. Don't just assume they know what you mean. Don't just assume you know that they understand what you mean. They don't. So here are some rules. So weekly team check-ins, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's in the morning. I check in with my staff every single morning. If they have a house that needs explanation or clarification, I am on it. I talk to them. I talk to my team leaders, right? Or, if they're partners there too, I talk to both of them every single morning. Monday through Friday, I see my staff for the most part. The rogue employee, someone you see a couple times a week, is a lot harder to keep them as employees. Why? Because you don't see them every day. There's no camaraderie, right? There is no, I'm seeing my boss every day, 5 days a week. I'm seeing the other people I work with 5 days a week, even if you're on solo teams, right? When they go rogue, you'll eventually lose them. It's a lot harder to keep them. It's a lot harder to do company culture when they don't see each other. And the next one is having clear expectations from day one. So what is the expectation of the job? Be super clear. Don't just assume that they know, right? Giving immediate feedback, good and bad. For the most part, they want to hear constructive criticism, feedback. I do the reverse Oreo cookie. I talk about the cream first, all the happy, joy stuff first. I talk about the ugly brown cookie in the middle, the stuff they need to improve, and then I round it off with more cream on the bottom. That's how my Oreo cookie would look. It would be cream, cookie, cream. It wouldn't be the other way around, right? So that's how I do that with people. I've only had one person that couldn't take constructive criticism, and she was gone within 2 days. That was recent. Making a big deal when they hit a milestone, right? Another one is have an open door policy for questions and concerns. Have them know that they can always come and talk to you about anything. A slow employee, someone that is not pulling their weight out in the field, right? Tell them that they can come and tell you, right? You have to have that type of thing. Don't have them be afraid of you, like you're the boss, like way up here, and then they're down here. It's not equal, but it has to be, 60-40 or 70-30 or something like that, right? So I have a rule. I praise in public. I praise in front of everyone. I correct in private. Those are the two things, right? Don't embarrass anyone. Nothing kills your team's morale faster than getting embarrassed in front of their coworkers. Never, ever publicly shame, right? Never, ever publicly shame. Is this making sense? Anyone have any questions? If I can see them. If I can't see them, I will all answer you after. So this is sort of a bonus strategy. So this is what I call the slow and steady growth rules. So here's where a lot of cleaning business owners crash and burn. They try and grow too fast, right? They hire 5 people in 2 weeks because they landed a big contract, and then they wonder why everything falls apart, because you can't train 5 people in a week. It's super difficult unless you have 5 trainers, right? Or how are you going to train 5 people? You can't train a group of people. Your training, honestly, really needs to be one-on-one, right? Has to be one-on-one for the most part. So slow down, speed racer, right? Build your team deliberately with purpose, right? Hire one person, train them properly, get them performing at your standard, and then get them ready to go, right? In 3 weeks, a month, and then hire another one. So much easier like that, and there's no chaos, right? It's very difficult to train more than 2 people at a time. It just is, right? If you're having your staff train them, if you're not training them, fine. But if you're having your staff train them, the staff that's training them gets burnt out. My staff has told me, "Oh, we hire all these new people. You gotta take it slow and steady wins the race, right?" So it's always way better to do that than hire, train, and fire. You know what I'm saying? You have to do it like really strategically. Is this making sense? I'm gonna redo this. Okay. So the bottom line here is building a great team isn't easy. If it was, everyone would do it. Everyone would open up a cleaning business. And all these pop-up cleaners, local cleaners, think it's easy, and maybe they've worked for another cleaning company or something like that. Then they go out on their own and they get their ass kicked when they do more than 10 houses a week. So it's not easy hiring people, not easy managing money, right? You're gonna make hiring mistakes. Just know that and accept it. Last week I did a training on writing your failure resume. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I suggest you take a look. It's in the events page in the Sisters Who Scale group. I don't think it's up on YouTube yet. Take a look at that. That was great. A lot of people wrote me, they messaged me privately and said they got a lot out of that, because it's taking all your failures, all the ways you screwed up, and getting it out of your head and on paper. You can only go up from there, right? You're going to make hiring mistakes, like I said. You're going to lose good people sometimes. It happens. People move on. People move away. They have babies, life things. It happens, right? You're going to have days when you wonder if it's worth all the headaches. Just know they're coming. If you haven't had them, know they're coming. They come to everyone, right? But here's what I know after building my business from a solo cleaner to an almost 7-figure company, because we're creeping up there. The freedom, the income, and the impact that you can have is worth every challenge along the way. Your employees aren't just helping you build a business, they're helping you build a legacy. And legacies aren't made easy, right? It's going to be more difficult to do that, right? It's making sense. Anyone have any questions? Well, I don't see any. Sometimes people pop out letters. So if any of this is making sense, if you're having a problem hiring, if you feel like you're on the hiring hamster wheel, right, and you're ready to really get serious about your business and build a team that actually sticks around and performs, let's have a chat. I do a Zoom strategy call with serious business owners only who are committed to making real changes, not just complaining about their problems, right? Because I talk to a lot of people. I don't work with everyone. I only work with people. I only let people in the Drop Them Up and Scale group that are serious, the ones that are ready to do the work, and make the tough decisions that the growth requires, because, it is work. I can give you all the tools in the world, but if you don't do it, nothing's going to change, right? So open registration. It's happening pretty much tomorrow. But I only take, like I said, I actually only have 6 spaces now, because Tracy Irons from Maine is coming in. She messaged me this morning and saw that it was open registration was coming. So I like to give everyone my undivided attention. That's why I only have so many people in the weekly group. So don't wait until your back gives out like mine did to fix your business and create the business you really want. So type Drop Them Up. I'll reach out. I'll set up a strategy call. See if it's for you. All you can do is find out the information. It may be for you. It may not be for you. But the ones that it is for are making massive amount of changes. If you watch my shorts, I interviewed Andrea Mass-Felton from Sydney, Montana. She is having crazy results, and it's all because she hired. When she entered the program 5 months ago, she was making about $10,000 a month. She just hit $27,000 in May in 5 months of being in my program, all because she learned how to hire. So it works, ladies. All right, have an amazing evening. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see everyone and Drop Them Up. I'll see everyone and Drop Them Up tomorrow evening. All right, have a great night. Bye.